Hey guys, it's SD, your host of the Life Picks Relationship podcast, where people with all sorts of backgrounds, challenges, and life experience show us how they make their relationship extraordinary. Hey guys, today I'm really excited because I'm here with my supervisor, Lisa Brown, from the Creative Journal Expressive Arts training that I'm currently in. For those of you who've been listening for long enough, know that I work with journaling and art with the non-dominant hand, the CJE method, created by Dr. Lucia Capicchioni, who created this method while she was chronically ill, healed herself, and now has written 23 books on it. Everything having to do with both sides of the brain, journaling and art, and what it does. It's really cool, changed my life, and now I am doing it with others. So, Lisa, I'm so glad you're here. You want to tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got involved in this work?
So I have a degree in teaching art and a master's degree in creative arts. And I took the Lucia's training in 1999. So I graduated in 2000. And I've been working with her techniques since then, incorporating them into art projects and the art that I do. And basically it does is you ask questions with your dominant hand and you answer with your non-dominant hand. And in this way, you're tapping into both sides of your brain. And you get a chance to do that also when you do art, you're tapping into both sides of your brain. So that's what we're trying to do, is get a little unconscious information from ourselves.
Yeah, I love that part. You get to access your subconscious brain and just think of things that you never thought of before that were really there the whole time. And the way it works is that there's two parts of the brain, the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain. We all know the right side of the brain is in charge of the left side of the body, and the left side of the brain is in charge of the right side of the body. Now, the left side of the brain is in charge of all the logical stuff, math, reading, writing, etc. And the right side of the brain is in charge of all the creative stuff, art, drama, and it's in charge of the emotions. So when you're writing with your non-dominant hand, you have straight access to your emotions. Plus, you're making new neuron connections, and that automatically allows you to think of things that you've never thought of before. So, could you tell us how a couple could use this method starting today, even without knowing much about it, so that way they could understand each other better and connect with each other on a deeper level?
Okay, so one of the things is to think about, first of all, how you receive love. Some people are touchy-feely people and they like to be touched. Some people would rather have a gift. Some people would rather have an affirmation, thank you, or something like that. And so, first of all, they need to think for themselves, what do I really like? So what I would do is have each person, the husband and the wife, or the boyfriend and the girlfriend, themselves answer some of those questions. How do they like to receive love? Would they rather have a hug or a note? Would they rather be alone with their partner or get help with something they're struggling with? You know, get some questions out, and I have a load of questions. There's also some questions written out in different places, but just to think about how you prefer to know that your loved one loves you. What is the easiest way? And for me, it's very hard right now because I'm a huggy person. Luckily, my husband is here, but my girlfriends and friends, I always like to give them a hug, and I'm having a really hard time in the pandemic not doing that. But once you have your own list, what I usually recommend then is to go through magazines and tear out pictures of what would make you feel loved. Just images of anybody and words and phrases for yourself. And then when you're done with that, you would do some journaling pieces, which would incorporate Lucia's work, which is asking questions about certain pictures you don't really understand and answering with your non-dominant hand.
Just to make that clear, when you're doing the collage, you're just looking through anything that could possibly bring you love, even if you're not sure why or what made you pull out that paper, but you just rip it all out, you lay it out in a collage, and then you do the journaling.
Right. And once you start the journaling, the pictures you want to ask about first are the ones that you don't know why you put that there, or the words that you don't know why. So you might say, why is that girl, hugging that teddy bear? What does that mean? And let your non-dominant hand answer. It's very interesting, and you'll get some really quick insights.
So let's just explain it for the people who don't know much about this. First of all, the non-dominant hand, by definition in this method, is the hand you don't usually use to write with. So even if you use both hands many times for different things, The hand that you usually write with is your dominant hand, and the other hand is your non dominant hand. Now, when you're asking the questions, you're using your dominant hand because you're thinking logically. When you're answering the questions, you're using your non dominant hand and you're not thinking. You're letting your subconscious mind do the work.
And it works with left-handed people. People always ask this question. It works with left-handed people because when left-handed people start writing in school, even if they're writing their name, as soon as they start doing schoolwork, it's got to be logical and it comes from the left side of the brain. Therefore, the right side is going to be the intuitive side, which is the one we want to tap into when we get to these questions, the answers for these questions.
Right.
Right, correct. And so when you're both done, when both husband and wife are done, or boyfriend and girlfriend, then you would look over each other's and you'd be able to understand why maybe a hug doesn't really help somebody as much as maybe they need an affirmation, something nice said to them, or do something for them that they don't expect. I like surprises. My husband never thinks about surprises because he's not a surprise person. So I have to tell him I like surprises. So
So does he
sometimes
ever make you surprise parties?
he did once because I kind of forced him into it.
So that wasn't even a surprise because you knew it was happening.
I didn't know exactly, but I knew some of it. But anyway, I think once you understand what you need and what your partner needs, then you can actually relate much better together, especially while you're here together all the time in the same house, trying to enjoy being alone.
Of killing each other, right?
Yeah, and it's important to know those things just for yourself. And every once in a while, you can ask for it.
Yeah.
There's no you can't ask for it, what you need. But once you've done the collage, you can just point to it.
Yeah, you had the conversation about it, you open the space about it, so it's easier to ask for it. So you want to give us some suggested questions maybe the person could do when they journal?
Well, when they're journaling, they're looking at pictures. So they might say, well, why does it have a picture of a beach? And then it might answer that it wants to go to the beach or likes to be at the beach. And so then, it's another thing to know about that person. And if you can't be at a beach, because you can't right now, you could make a beach in your living room, kick up the heat, put out some towels and lay down, get a book, pretend you're at the beach and just, do some things that would bring you both joy, because that's the most important part. You want
Yeah.
to be joyful in your togetherness.
Yeah, you know what else I found really helpful is that if you get stuck with writing with your non-dominant hand, is start answering the question by repeating the question. So let's say your question was, why are you here? You answer, I am here because. This way, it starts setting your brain in that mode. You start using that side of the brain and it's easier to come up with an answer. Remember, you're not thinking, you're just activating your subconscious mind.
And you can always ask more questions. Like sometimes it's real obvious, it's a picture of two hands holding. It might be obvious to you consciously why that picture is there, but if you ask with your dominant hand and you answer with your non-dominant hand, it may say something totally different, like I want him to hold hands with me outside the house.
Yeah, it gives a different sort of feeling. Exactly. Do you have
Yeah.
any interesting stories of what happened with while journaling?
Well, I think it's really interesting when you have a marriage that's even a long marriage, like I've been married 31 years.
Wow.
So when you have a long marriage, it's interesting to find out, oh, suddenly, like I get it now. I understand why, I can hug him. He's fine with that. But why he doesn't do that, he doesn't think to do that to me. I can't, instead of being angry at him for not thinking about that, I know now that it's just not what he thinks of. And so I think when you ask, originally, when you sit down to think about the way you receive love, you might think about if somebody, do I like it better if they do something that I really am struggling with, or do I like it when they just give me praise for something I'm trying to do? Or, there's all kinds of things that go through in your life. Just think about what kind of things what experiences you have, and, say, would I rather have them take out the garbage or watch a TV show with me, or, things like that. Think about all those different things that you do together and separately, and which ones would be more important to you.
Yeah, I think that many people know the concept of the five love languages, but doing this gives them, first of all, a much better understanding of why they like certain things better. And second of all, very specific. Like even if you like touch, maybe you like a specific type of touch versus other people. So if you know what you want and how you want it, then you could be more clear about it and communicate about it and actually get it.
And also when you have a collage of what you like, you may understand why some people irritate you because they do things to you that you don't like. And so you can also include in that, if you want to, a second piece to say, I don't like when, people get too close and I don't know them, or I don't like these things. And you can write those down too, and talk about that together. And that would give you some insight, because sometimes you don't like maybe your husband's friend and you don't know why, you can't explain to him why. And it may be just simply that he gets in your face and you just don't like that.
Yeah.
Or he touches you when you don't want to be touched, not meaning that he's touching you wrongly, but he just,
just for you don't like that. Yeah.
You may be a physical person and you're not that there. So it may also help you with all of your friends to understand where you stand with them, and why sometimes, you get into a tiff over nothing, because it's just you're looking at things differently. So I think it's really helpful to do any exercise like that, where you really put down your real feelings and get a chance to really get into the unconscious and work that through.
Yeah. Do you ever journal with a picture, let's say a few months later, and get different answers, or you do a whole nother collage?
I like to do collages, so I probably would do another one, but I do have a lot of them home, and sometimes I'll be looking and I'll see a picture that I didn't talk to, and I might want to say, why is that there now? I didn't, or my life has changed and that picture suddenly means something different. I've had pictures of friends that I want to help me in my business, and I've never really, sometimes I just let it go thinking it's just going to happen, but I really need to talk about what I want those friends to do so I can find that.
Yeah, and I know besides for collages, you do a lot of other art also.
Yes, as you can see here in my studio, I do painting. We've done batik with this work. We've done clay is my favorite thing, but it's hard to do at this time because people don't always have clay. You can make clay from flour and paste, like a pasty clay. It won't keep, but you can, if you
Also
want.
very sticky, very big different texture.
Yeah, but you can do it. Or you can order clay on Amazon, because Amazon has everything.
We'll just come a month late because they're slightly held back, but you'll get it eventually.
Eventually. But most of the classes I try to do different media at different times, and depending on what the process is I'm working on, we'll do that. A lot of times I use collage. It's just because everybody can do collage.
Yeah.
They won't feel intimidated as much as they would with clay.
Yeah. So what relationship advice would you give to someone who wants to make their relationship extraordinary?
Listen, that's the first thing. Understand. Sometimes people are in a bad mood that has nothing to do with you, and be understanding that sometimes that happens. And a lot of times women are sad and they don't know exactly why. And sometimes it's just things hit them a certain way. Sometimes movies or pictures or babies or something hits them and they cry. And so men should understand.
And they could journal with it about it.
Yeah,
basic journaling of drawing a picture with your non-dominant hand and then asking the picture the questions.
Yeah. Why are you sad today? And I found lately, my girlfriend and I are doing some walking, and we find every once in a while we start just crying because we can't hug each other and say hello, So
that's an emotional connection.
Yeah. And the other thing is to find your own hobbies. Don't try to be in the same hobby just because they are. Find a hobby that you like and let them understand that that's important to you.
I like that because it gives you your own space and your own individuality in your relationship. Just because you're married to someone else or in a relationship with someone else, you don't become them. You have your relationship, and that's amazing, and you want it to flourish, but you are still your own person. Yeah.
Right. And you still need time to yourself. You need time that you can unwind, that is not involved with anybody, so that you really get, you get, that's where your freedom is.
Yeah. Is your husband into art also?
No, he would rather stick needles in his eyes.
Really? With a huge studio like that? Doesn't come in ever?
No, never. Could you use this scrap of something? Do you want me to throw it away, or do you want it? And that's when he comes in the studio.
Yeah, you're really good with that, using all sorts of things in your art. You find it like huge 3D creations and stuff. It's awesome. Using both sides of the brain. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really, Lisa, it was awesome speaking to you. And guys, listen up. Lisa is doing this exact workshop called Love Enhanced, for couples doing all sorts of journaling and art over Zoom, so you could do it from wherever you are. This Thursday, September 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Email her at lisa@art-as-therapy.com to reserve your slot. See you there, because I'm going to be there too. Did you enjoy that episode? Could you do me a personal favor and subscribe and leave a review? It would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much and have an awesome day. Guys, thank you so much for keeping me updated on what Genius Relationship has done to your marriage. I literally smile every single time someone sends me a message and tells me how it changed their relationship. If you don't have it yet, go right now to geniusrelationships.com and you'll thank me later.